on a Saturday. Talk about something that just came up on Instagram today. So scrolling through my Instagram while I'm doing my cardio warm up at the gym. And I see a post a woman made, very fit, middle-aged woman, Florida. I'm not going to name her or I'm not going to call her out, but she posted a picture of herself flexing and then a quote next to it. It wasn't your typical Bible quote or inspirational quote. It said, "Stay away from doing 4 sets of 10 reps. It does nothing for muscle growth. Remember, you're a bodybuilder, not a weightlifter." It's attributed to Coach P, which I found out is her coach, a guy named Richard Politano. He actually has a YouTube channel, Championship Muscle. No disrespect to Mr. Politano, is that right? I want to make sure I have the right, give him credit for who he is. Yeah, Richard Politano. Very good bodybuilder back in the day. Probably a couple years older than me, I'm guessing. I don't know. But seems to be a very knowledgeable guy. It's just I differ with him on this point. So I had to say something. So she posted that, and then the caption underneath was, "Happy Saturday, here you go. I'm a bodybuilder, not a weightlifter. Some proven advice from my coach, Coach Richard Politano." So I responded, "It's built a lot of muscle for millions of people." And she said it did nothing for her. And I said it's worked for a lot of other people, so don't go saying it's worthless, it does nothing. She says, "Okay, I'm not going to argue. My page, my journey. You don't agree, don't follow. I don't cave ever." And then a guy who, I don't know if it's her boyfriend, just a guy she knows, I don't know. A friend of hers, a guy, said, "To the couple of negative Nancys on their need to respond, I believe if you took the time to read her profile, it says her fitness journey, meaning she uses quotes for her to keep in mind, check what is working for her. True, 4x10 has built muscle for millions," so you admit it, "and so has steroids, absolutely. But again, she's not telling you what works for millions. It's a page to track her journey, a reminder for her to keep doing what is working for her. Some people need to pull their gym shorts up." Let me do that right now. "And quit getting so damn offended." I'm not offended. I just don't like misinformation being put out there like that. And this is blatant misinformation because 4 sets of 10 reps, it's worked for, should I turn this off? Oh, now it's too dark. It's getting dark outside. 4 sets of 10 reps. There's tons and tons of studies. Brad Schoenfeld, all strength coaches going back decades have done studies, university studies, to try to figure out the optimal rep ranges for improving your strength, improving muscle hypertrophy or gaining muscle size, or muscle endurance. And that's why we do mostly 8 to 12 reps, because many studies have confirmed that is the most effective rep range for most people. So I differ when this guy said, don't get so offended. She has over 10,000 followers, and it wasn't presented as a quote or something that works well for her. The way it was presented in the post is like it's a fact. The 10 reps, I don't know why the 4 sets matters, the amount of sets you do. He's basically saying that rep scheme, 10 reps, it's not enough reps to stimulate muscle growth. That's for power lifters. Now, those of you who are power lifters or even know about power lifters, they don't even do 10 reps. They do very low reps for the most part. 1, 3, 5 reps. I mean, that's their sole purpose, is to become stronger and stronger, and it works very well for them. You'll notice a lot of them don't have the real huge muscle size of bodybuilders. Bodybuilders do more reps, but there is a point where more reps is too many reps. I don't know exactly where it is. It's probably different for different people, but generally speaking, 8 to 12 is the rep range that keeps the muscle under tension long enough to stimulate growth without going into making it so much that it's working more toward muscle endurance, the slow twitch fibers. Because you have these fast twitch and slow twitch fibers. I know it's a little more complicated than that. I'm being very simplistic here. Fast twitch fibers are the power fibers. Slow twitch fibers are the endurance fibers. Obviously, we want to be stimulating both of them to some degree to stimulate muscle growth. I rankled at that, and I couldn't keep quiet because Instagram, social media in general, is such a great platform for spreading information, but it can also spread misinformation. To say that 10 reps is worthless for muscle gain, it's just not true, because that's worked for millions and millions of people. It's worked for me. It's worked for everyone I know. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear from you guys. How many reps have you found personally? Because we have studies that confirm what works for most people. But personally, has 10 reps not done shit for you, whereas like 20 or 30 reps has? I know there are people that do respond to higher reps, and there are people that respond to lower reps. I remember back in the day, even looking at like Dorian Yates. Dorian was always doing like 6 to 8 reps, which that's pretty low. That's getting towards strength. Obviously worked very well for Dorian. There have been other bodybuilders who do like 15 to 20 reps. That works well for them. But we say 8 to 12, and if you average that out, that's 10 reps. It's worked so well for so many people. I just couldn't shut up. I couldn't be quiet. And so now I'm a hater and this and that. So what do you guys got to say? What do you guys got to say? Let's hear it. Mr. Craig Blaze, thank you for the tip there. Thank you. Spoiler man, Ron, you're absolutely correct, and any veteran bodybuilder realizes. That's where I'm confused, because this Richard guy, he is a veteran bodybuilder. There's pictures of him from 1989 where he was 230 pounds, had a very, very decent physique, So it's like saying, I don't like these absolutes, like, was it Piana or Michael Hearn? Somebody was saying not long ago that leg presses are completely useless, worthless leg exercise, like they'll do nothing for you. So that means, if that's true, if all you had was a leg press and you worked on it for years and got super strong, did tons of reps, your legs wouldn't grow at all, because that's a useless exercise. We know that's bullshit. Should you squat? Of course you should squat. Leg presses are also a very good tool for building leg size. I had huge legs in my prime. They're still pretty big, but they were huge for years and years. And I did a lot of squats, I did a lot of hack squats, and I did a lot of leg presses, and they all worked. They all contributed toward my leg size. I wouldn't say the leg presses were useless. Come on. Wow. Let's go back. I want to hear what you guys got to say. I want to hear the anecdotal evidence from my bros out there. What do you got to tell me, bros? Let's see. Happy Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Craig Blaze. Howdy. I'm against misinformation too. Yeah, I wasn't hating on, like, again, if you want to say this worked great for me, that's fine. But don't say if something didn't work for you, it doesn't work for anybody. That's like saying, it's like taking it the other way, saying, pizza gets you shredded, because I bet there's somebody out there who eats pizza every day and they're shredded. So if they come out and say, eat pizza every day, you'll get shredded, you're not going to get shredded. It worked for like that one guy. Live with a loudmouth woman. Oh boy, well, we can't have anti-woman stuff here. Spoiler man, Ron, you're absolutely correct. Any veteran will realize that. Yeah, like I said, some people do better with slightly lower reps. There have been people that did very well with like 6 to 8 reps, and there have been people that did very well with like 12 to 15. But plenty of people have done very well with 10 reps. 10 reps. It's like the magic number. I know. It's just a random arbitrary number because we like very even numbers. 10. What a great number. Because, it's easy to use in math for dummies like me. Michael Rude, I bet you the person that said this has a physique of a shrimp. No, he's actually a big dude. I'm guessing he's probably a couple years older than me. If I'm guessing, I don't know. Like I said, Richard Politano in Florida, you can check out his channel. He has a lot of great advice on there. Championship Muscle, he's a coach. It's just this one statement I couldn't accept that. I couldn't just sit there and say, all right, let everyone read that and be cool with it. No, because I'm not cool with that. So it's like I've seen people saying cardio is useless. Like, you don't need to do cardio, because they didn't do cardio. But you know what? A lot of people need cardio to lose fat, to lose weight. So to say cardio is useless, worthless, that's a ridiculous statement. And there's so much evidence to back it up that it is useful. Just like there's so much evidence, so many studies that back up 10 reps does result in muscle growth. So to say it's worthless, no, it's not worthless. Arstav, you're right, Ron. That's why the pros get coaches. Well, this guy is a coach. There's so much variability that those with great genetics need to maximize potential early. Michael Root, I alternate 1 week high reps, the other week low and heavy. Yeah, I feel like I should have done that too, because in my 20s especially, I was doing a lot of sets in the 5 to 8 range, a lot. I would go higher on things too, but I did a lot of low rep sets because I wanted to get stronger. And not only that, I probably meant to do more reps, but I was always picking too much weight because I was like over ambitious. I'd grab a pair of 140s for dumbbell press. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get 10. And I'd get like 4 or 5 if I was lucky. So, and I think I would have saved my joints if I had done more higher rep work, at least take a couple, every once in a while I should have done like lighter workouts with like 12 to 15 reps, but I never did because I was all about the big weights, had to be jacked and strong. Let's see, Michael Rude. Ronald Bohan, another Ronald. Bohan, 8 to 10 reps. Spoiler man, 10 to 15 reps, my rep range daily. Yeah, 10 to 15 I think that's great. It's a great range. 10. I tell people, especially if they're older and their joints might be compromised, don't go under 10 reps for anything because oh, it's raining again. Jeez. It's going to be too heavy, too much pressure on the joints. It's not worth it. 10 15, Ron, you're just a hater of men's physique. Raymond Jones. I'm not a hater of it. I'm not a fan just because I'm not a fan of the divisions that have no posing. It's like, I want to see posing. I don't care if it's women's physique, women's bodybuilding, men's bodybuilding, class physique, 212. There's posing in all those, and I like to see the muscles move and flex and different poses. To me, it's boring when there's just stand to the front, turn around, stand to the front, turn around. It's just not much going on. This is not the most exciting sport in the first place. There's not a lot of action-packed moments in bodybuilding like there are in football, basketball, hockey, soccer. All these other sports have a lot more action, stuff going on. So if you're taking away the posing from a division, there's no posing, now it's really boring for me personally. It has the division has fans. You know what? I'm not putting these guys down. Like I said in my last video, there's a couple guys I've known, men's physique pros at my gym. We actually have 3 men's physique pros at my gym. Actually, one just moved away. They train very, very hard, and they do train their legs. Let's see. What next? Magos. Depends on the exercise. For me, legs, I like to do higher reps. Yeah, absolutely. Heavier squats like 10. I totally agree with that. For the lower body, 10 reps is like my minimum, and I'll go 10 to 20 is a great range for legs. Squats, I used to always go a little lower on squats, and I go higher on the squats because I wanted to get really strong on those. I didn't do many sets over, say, 12 reps on squats. I would do like 20 rep squats sometimes, but what I used to do a lot of my leg workouts were squats for sets of 8 to 10, building up heavy as I could. Then I would go to like the leg press and do higher reps, like 12 to 20 reps, 15, mostly like 15 to 20 reps, because I did want to get a mix of rep ranges when I trained legs. But I do believe you need higher reps for legs. Absolutely agree with that for best results. Raymond Jones again. Arthur Jones and Mike Mentzer had the same type of confidence about their workout philosophies. Yeah, and I watched, somebody posted something on Instagram last week where Arthur Jones was on a talk show or something. This is from the 70s. And he was telling people that weight training is better for your heart than cardio, and all cardio and running, it's all worthless, he's full of shit. He was really saying that to promote, do you hear that, guys? To promote the Nautilus machines and the Nautilus training method, because he was making millions and millions of dollars licensing the Nautilus name for these Nautilus gyms that were popping up everywhere. And I don't think they had any cardio equipment. It was just Nautilus machines, those gyms. And there were a lot of them. Tons of those places opened up in the late 70s and through the late 80s. A lot of Nautilus gyms. Let's see. Raymond John, Lewis, Ronald Bohan again. Leg press is good, especially if you have a bad back. Always consult your doctor if you have back issues. Yeah. If you have a bad back, you're not squatting, dude. You're not putting a 500-pound bar on your back. You'll snap your freaking spine. You'll be laid up in bed for weeks. You'll be worthless to the world. So yeah, leg press has a place, guys, in leg training. You should absolutely squat. I don't think there's not too many guys have ever built like really huge legs without squatting. Most guys with very good legs have done tons of squats, but most of them have also done other things: leg presses, hack squats, lunges. Why would you only do one exercise? Bodybuilders do a variety of exercises. Kevin Clements, happy Saturday, Ron. Thank you. Happy Saturday to you. Mark Lewis. So by this current rationale, the V-Shred guy is bogus too. It's rational carbs. Rational carbs don't get you fat. V-Shred's just a marketing scheme. He tells you don't do cardio, just buy doesn't he have like a weight loss supplement or pill or something he wants you to buy? Yeah, I mean, Coach Greg Doucette has made videos about V-Shred before, so I'm not going to get into that because he did a way better job of dismantling a lot of the things that this guy has said in his. Does he do videos or he just does like commercials? I don't know. Magos 008, I'll do high reps with arms as well, 20 reps, but sometimes back and chest will be somewhere around 10 to 15. Yeah, I really think it's good to do high reps once in a while. I wouldn't do them all the time, just like I wouldn't do low reps all the time. I honestly believe you're better off giving the muscle groups just a variety of rep ranges. If not at every workout, then maybe like 1 week higher reps, 1 week more moderate reps, maybe even a week where you do lower reps. But I like to incorporate them all in one workout. It's just, to me, it feels better. It makes more sense to me. Philip Yarabi. Hey, Ron. What about 15 to 20 reps with lower weights? You know, if it should challenge you. If it's very hard for you to complete 15 to 20 reps, and that means the intensity is high, you'll still get results. But I do think you should also do some lower reps, like 8 to 12. Why wouldn't you? Unless you have an injury, and you know the heavier resistance is going to put you at risk of re-injuring yourself, or it's just causing a lot of pain in the joints. Then yeah, you want to stay away from the heavier loads. But why would you avoid all the heavier loads all the time? I don't think you should. Let's see, Philip Urabi, oh, you just did that. You think that could work? Yeah, that could work. But, you know, I wouldn't do it all the time. Or if it works for you, here's the thing, guys. If you find a rep range that works well for you, maybe it's 4 to 6. Maybe you're one of those people that thrives on the very low reps. You might be one of them. Keep doing it. Don't worry about what anyone else does or what works for anyone else. But don't go and posting 4 to 6 reps is the best way to train. 8 to 10 reps is useless. 12 reps is useless, because it's not useless. It's useless for you maybe, but don't extrapolate that and try to shove it down everyone's throat as the one true way to train. Philip says, I have a lot of back pain lately. Hopefully it's not a hernia. The hernia would be in the groin or in the lower abdomen. You wouldn't have back pain from a hernia. Oh, you might have a herniated disc. Is that what you're talking about? You might have herniated disc. I mean, you need to go get an MRI. If it keeps up, don't live with that without treating it. And you can't really treat it unless you know what it is. Aljit Chowdhury. How about pyramid sets, like doing higher reps like 20 with lightweight, and then as a set gradually goes on, doing less reps like 15, 10, gradually increasing the weights and vice versa? Yeah, I believe the pyramid system that's been around for 60 years probably, it's damn good. It works very well. So in the pyramid, you start out with a higher rep. So maybe, let's say you're doing 4 sets of a bench press or something. You're warmed up. You did 20 reps, you did 15 reps. You're all warmed up. So maybe you do 12 reps on your first set of the bench press. Put a little bit more weight on, 10 reps, and then 8 reps. Maybe you go down to 6 reps if you're trying to build. But increasing the weight, decreasing the reps, that way you're getting a natural blend of rep schemes without really even thinking about it. It's just happening organically, because you're adding weight and the reps come down because you can't do as many reps. I think the pyramid system, scheme, whatever it's called, is great. And it keeps you, I used to do reverse pyramid, which was very dangerous. Reverse pyramid is you warm up, then you start out with your very heaviest weight, and you would go down from there. The idea was, you know, while you're fresh and you're strongest, uses the heaviest weight you can, which I think I got hurt. I destroyed my joints doing that too, so. I think pyramiding up is probably the smarter thing to do. Man, it's pouring out. Let's see. Dominic Norris, how to build muscle with what reps? You're asking me how many reps? I mean, 8 to 12 works well for the upper body for most people. 10 to 20 works very well for the lower body for most people. Johnny Kosila, hello from Finland. I do very long, only max 8 reps because I have power lift background, so change that 10, 15, it blows my muscles. I think my muscle used to the low reps too much. Yeah. I've talked to so many people over the years, especially, you know, because I had the bigger legs, huge legs for years, people used to come to me for leg training advice, which is kind of silly. Like, you don't want to ask, like, the guy with the best arms in the gym how to build arms, because typically that guy didn't have a problem building his arms. But I would say this. I would ask them what they were doing for legs, and a lot of times the reps were all low. It was like 5, 6, 8 reps. I said, why don't you try for a while doing like 10 to 20 reps, 12 to 20 reps? And they all came back to me or messaged me or whatever. They all told me later on, man, my legs started growing, and they hadn't grown in forever. So a lot of times that's all you need to do is change your rep scheme. And probably, wow, listen to that rain, guys. Maybe you can't hear it. If you're using only low reps, switching to higher reps is going to be a different stimulation. It's a shock. You're going to see results. Same thing if you're only doing higher reps and then you take the reps down for a while, you'll probably, again, see another response, a growth response, because your body's got to fight to adapt to what's going on. It's like, damn, what's going on? Let's see. Blue Rang. We're flooded with people that find what works for them, then starts a YouTube channel telling everyone how to do it the right way, thinking they found a paycheck for life. Yeah, you know, a lot of that is there's this constant need for content. So people have to really feel like they're giving you some information that nobody else has. It's groundbreaking. And a lot of times it's just something they found works for them. Maybe it'll work for other people, maybe it won't, but you know, they present themselves as an authority, because anybody can start a YouTube channel, anybody. Anybody can say whatever the hell they want on social media. Who's questioning you? Who's saying, there's no fact checker, there's nobody saying, what are your credentials? Let's see. Looney Tunes again. Oh boy. Let's see. Brandon, hello, hello. Zuko Mahawana, I'm dropping weight but getting loose skin only on my stomach, only in the front. Yeah, you might have, that's a problem when you lose a lot of weight. If you've been heavy for a while, your skin got stretched out, you're going to have loose skin. It's just part of it. You know, you see all these people on shows like My 600-Pound Life, Biggest Loser, they lose hundreds of pounds and then they have all this loose skin. They have to get a skin surgery where they remove all the excess skin. Sometimes it's like 20, 30 pounds of skin that they take off these people. That's how much, you know, they'll have like the skin hanging down like a foot off their arm after they got thinner. Let's see. So Philip Urabi says, usually for me, 20 reps with lower weights works better than 8 to 10 with higher weights. The pumps are a lot better. Yeah, that's why I say, you know, that's why like drop sets are really effective because it's more reps. I just don't think that that's the only way to train. Maybe for some people, 20 reps is the best way to train. But there's a lot of people that do very well with 8, 10, 12 reps. So nobody should be coming out and saying only high reps work or only low reps or only this rep scheme works because we're all different and people have gotten results with so many different methods. Let's see, blue rank for shoulders. I start with 10 and pyramid up, 45 max, then go back down to 10s again and same pump and fascia stretch. Yeah, so he's talking about like running the rack maybe laterals. Is that what you're talking about? So like Ronnie Coleman did that in one of his videos. I think it was in The Unbelievable where he starts off at the smaller dumbbells, no rest, just keeps going up the rack until he gets to like, I don't know, what was he using, like 50s or 60s? He's Ronnie Coleman. And then he goes all the way back down. It took like 8 or 10 minutes. It was crazy. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, he said for lateral raises. Yeah, I thought that's what he meant. Endless Gaming. Charles Glass, last video, German volume training, is 10 sets of 10 reps, 3 exercises. Yeah, GVT, German volume training. Very, very popular method's been around for decades and decades. I assume it came from somebody in Germany. Credit to the Germans on that one. But yeah, 10 times 10. 10's a lot of reps, but I used to do that for squats back in the day when I was like, I don't want to squat heavy today. So you would take a weight like something that was easy for 10 reps. Like back in the day, 225 for 10 was like nothing for me. So I would do 10 reps, rest like a minute, do another 10 reps. By the time I got to like the 5th set, it was really starting to hurt and starting to feel heavy. And by the time I got to like sets 9 and 10, that 225, getting 10 reps was brutal. So excellent change of pace, German volume training. If you never tried it, definitely worth a shot. Zuko Mahala, 10 to 20 works for me. Stevie McNeckbeard, 1 rep is all you need with 5 kilogram dumbbells, I suppose. I'm 350 at 5'8". Well, I assume you're not shredded, Mr. Neckbeard. You would be the largest human being bodybuilder of all time. Blue Rang, once you go past 40s, I notice elasticity starts to go on lower abs. Yeah, probably. Oh, you're at 1% body fat. Wow, okay. Well, we need to see some pictures, guys, Stevie McNeckbeard. Isn't neckbeard like a thing that obese people have? You know, when they don't shave, they get this big fat neck with... No? I don't know. I've seen some of that before. You're cool. Thanks, Brandon. William Ryan, Ron, if you go back, look at Eric Hyden, the speed skater, his legs. He did real high reps on leg press and had legs bigger than most bodybuilders. It's funny you say that because I remember before I was a bodybuilding fan, I saw a picture of him in the Sunday like sports supplement special in the newspaper. This is like 1980. Isn't that when he was in the Olympics? Because he had these massive legs, these quads like freaking Tom Platt size. They were huge. And speed skating, it was, you know, high intensity, high reps. And I didn't know how he trained, but there you go. You proved it. Yeah, high reps work very well. I mean, Tom Platz didn't do low reps. Tom Platz did, 20, 30, 40, 50 reps. He took like 315 and squatted for, or 225. He did 315 for 50. I think he took 225 one time and squatted for 10 minutes straight. Yeah, 10 minutes. Imagine that with 225. Just boop, 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 boop. I don't know how many reps that would be, like a couple hundred. That's what we got from, yeah. In 2000, Blue Rang, in 2004, I woke up to either of Ron Rule or Gunter training DVDs every day for motivation. Ronnie, yeah. Marcus Rule, made in Germany, great DVD. Love that one. Gunter, I never saw his. Philip, Ron, do you take anything for joint or bone pain? I was just taking stuff for years, like the shark cartilage, chondroitin. I didn't notice any difference. Once your joints are like really damaged, like arthritic, like mine are, I don't think any of that stuff really matters anymore. The only thing that ever gave me relief from the shoulder, I need this one replaced, was I was getting cortisone shots in it, which really just masked the pain for 3-4 months, and it started coming right back, and I would get another shot and another shot. Yeah. McMaverick 56 on TRT DHT high, experiencing hair loss. Are you taking anything to help with hair loss? So I got this stuff from Hims that is minoxidil and what's the other thing? It's 2 different medications in one. You're supposed to rub it in. I haven't seen any difference because I'm losing it here. It's receding, and I definitely have very, very thin hair on the crown. Like all 5 of my, there's 5 of us. So I have 4 brothers, a younger and 3 older. We all have the same. I actually have the most hair out of everybody, and I'm the only juice head. But yeah, I mean, eventually if it gets worse, I'll go to Turkey. It's only like $3,000 or $4,000 to go to Turkey and get a hair transplant versus US, it's 20 to 30,000. Woo, yeah, boy. Let's see. Our stuff, I noticed better results in triceps with more time under tension. Still count the reps at 12 to 15. Yeah, arms in particular do seem for a lot of people to respond to a little more reps, a little more time under tension because you're getting a better pump, for sure. Another thing I like a lot is this FST7. FST7, it's a great way to get a lot of reps in a short amount of time. So you just take one exercise, say it's barbell curls, 10 reps, put it down, you rest no more than 30 seconds, pick it up, the same weight, 10 more reps. Do that over and over again until you've gotten 7 sets of 10 reps with no more than 30 seconds rest in between. The pumps are unbelievable. I love FST7 for Hani Rambod, of course. If you don't know who came up with that, it was Hani, the greatest coach, bodybuilding coach. Maj Karayudi, thoughts on men's physique weight cap. I did a whole video on it on this channel. Click on that. It's there. I spent an hour talking about it. So fasting frugivore with you completely, Ron. She should have said only high reps work for her, but to generalize a statement saying 8 to 12 reps does not work is ludicrous. I don't think she meant to misinform. I'm sure she didn't mean that, but I think she did make the mistake of posting something on her page, presenting it as advice or a fact, something that everyone who looks at it, and she has over 10,000 followers, would take as fact at face value, when it's just not a fact. To say 10 reps is worthless for gaining muscle, it's just not true. It's just not true. If that's true, then none of the people who have put muscle on with 10 reps, sets of 10, you're invalid. Your experiences didn't happen. You didn't put on any of that muscle. It's all in your imagination. I don't know. Let's see, finasteride. Yeah, there is finasteride. So it's minoxidil and finasteride. That's the solution. I actually canceled the subscription. I have one more bottle. It's going to last me like 3 months because I wouldn't see any difference. But they said on the bottle, if you don't see any improvement in 6 months, that's good. It means you haven't lost any more hair. Like, oh, so that's their way of saying even if it doesn't work, it's working. I don't know. Bullshit. Yeah, you should get some glutes exercises other than hip thrusters, squats. Yeah, leg press with your feet a little bit higher up and a little wider than shoulder width. So not the middle of the platform, but just a little bit higher up. Push with the heels. Most gyms have like a glute. These call it butt blaster, which obviously you guys are going to say, ha, butt blaster. You said butt blaster. That's that machine. It's like a kickback, like a donkey kickback where you're at this angle and your legs are kicking back against usually like a little platform. It's one leg at a time. That works really well. Lunges work well. Step-ups work well. Glutes aren't that hard to build. Maverick Doc recommended. Michael Rude. Correction, Tom did incorporate low reps too. I heard him say this in a video. I never saw him do any. I mean, all the videos I've ever seen of him, and that maybe that doesn't represent how he really trained, but he definitely did a lot of higher reps too. Do not go to Turkey. What's wrong with Turkey? What's wrong with Turkey? You don't like Turkey? I know the Armenians don't like Turkey because they've been issues with them for 120 years. Philip, Ron, do you have any email where I could contact you? You can get me on my Instagram, Ron Harris Muscle. But I don't do any coaching anymore. I stopped doing it because I took on more work assignments. So I don't do any more coaching. Blue Rang, do you remember when Dante first came out with dog crap training back in 2000 on the forums? Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I remember him on, I think it was a thread on Chad's old board, a long running thread on Muscle Mayhem, Chad Nichols' forum. That's where a lot of us used to be on that. Kukla was on there. Antoine was on there. I was on there. A lot of people were on there back in the day. Tons of people. And Dante had, I think it was a thread about DC training. It was like thousands of pages long. A lot of people were involved in it. Where can you send questions for your next Ask Doc video? Love the content. Thank you. So, as we say in every Ask Dr. Testosterone video, leave your questions for the next video in the comments underneath the most recent video. So we put up one every Tuesday. So go on this channel in the newest Ask Dr. Testosterone video, put your question in the comments section there. And I say newest because that's the only one I'm checking. I'm not going back a year ago or 2 years ago and looking at to see if anybody added questions from video from a year or two ago. No, put them in the new one because we have no shortage of questions. Last week we had like almost 20 questions. It took us quite a while to get through. And it's free. So if you like those Dr. T videos, guys, please share those on your platforms. We should be getting more views on those. That's a medical doctor who's a champion bodybuilder giving out free, solid advice on drugs, nutrition, training, medical issues people have. It's a great service. Ronald Bohan, anti-inflammatory eating plan and taking turmeric with a sprinkle of pepper and 4 ounces of water with 3 ounces of tart cherry juice helps with joint pain. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the early stages, but if you have already advanced arthritis, I don't think any of that stuff's going to work. You need like hardcore medication or surgery. 8 Torres, my goal is to compete in a bikini comp next year. Also, I'm 24. I love when you go live. I assume you're a female if you can compete in bikini, but thank you. Joe Hackman, I just do 1 rep of 335 on flat bench and walk out like a man. Well, I hope you warm up before you do that. I want to tell one quick story about not warming up. Greg Kovacs, the late Greg Kovacs from Canada. He was with Muscle Tech for years. He was in all the ads. He was called the world's strongest bodybuilder. He was like 400 pounds, not a very pretty physique. It was ugly. Huge, thick trunk, big gut. Not a good physique on stage. He actually got his pro card and did a couple pro shows and took dead last. But super, super strong guy. There was a legend. He was from like the Niagara Falls area. He lived on the Canadian side. And there was a bench press meet. I don't know, he was a young guy at the time, probably like his late teens, early 20s. So he waited till the end of the meet, and the guy, whatever the last lift had been, I don't know how much weight. Let's say it was like 500 pounds. The last lift of the meet, the heaviest bench press of the meet, before they stripped the bar, everyone was leaving. He went up there, no warm-up, just a big flannel shirt, big farm boy. I think he just did it for like 10 reps and racked it and walked away. I've heard that story a couple times, so I'm pretty sure it's true. But what a great story that is. Hey, Torres, could I DM you for workout advice for my bikini comp? No, I don't. I don't give out workout advice anymore because I stopped coaching. Yeah, and I don't do the DM thing. It's not it's not good for me, especially with attractive females. Where can I reach Dr. T? I went on his site. It's in Greek, so I can't make anything of it. Also, I didn't see any rates. You know how much is a consultation with Dr. T? Philip, he's on Instagram, so get him on Instagram at Dr. George Tuliados, at Dr. George Tuliados, and he will respond. He does consultations. I don't know how much it is. Whatever it is, that's the price it is. I mean, he's a medical doctor. Doctors aren't cheap. They shouldn't be. They went to medical school and everything. Oh, so Blue says, remember that story, Muscle Mag? So that's where I read it. Yeah, huh, interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to go. I think I've made my point. There are different rep ranges that result in muscle growth. 10 reps does work for a lot of people. It's worked for millions of people. It will continue to work for millions of people. So I wouldn't worry about it being a worthless rep range, that you have to do higher reps. You could try higher reps, and if they work great for you, keep doing what works for you. If lower reps, if you find like 6 to 8 reps works best for you, keep doing that. Don't worry about what everyone else, but just don't go out and say, this is the best way to train for everybody, because it's not. We're all different. We all have different nervous systems, bodies, everything. And I said, why don't you do DMs? It was cleaning. Oh, because I'm happily married, and it's just not respectful to my wife to do DMs with women. That's all. It's no offense to anybody else. And, and usually women come back and say, well, don't flatter yourself. I wasn't hitting on you. I know, don't worry about it. I wasn't saying you were. I'm just saying I stay in my lane. I know the proper ways to behave these days after many years of being a moron. Philip, again, I'm an artist on HRT. Would you be interested in doing a show together? Huh? No. To share my HRT experiences with people, working with bodybuilders only. I mean, I'm not looking for people to do videos with. I mean, I have plenty of pro bodybuilders and other people. I'm not looking for like content, but thank you. Always good to see you do. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. See if I can take Branch, the pit bull, out for a little walk. Branch, you here? Branch, wanna come say hi? Come here. No, over here. Branch, over here. Papas, come here. Branch. There's nothing out there, Papa. There's nothing outside right now. Come here. Come here. Is there something out there? All right, he's not coming over. All right, guys. Oh, here he comes. Come here. Come on. Up. Yeah. What a good boy. He's such a good boy. Good boy. He's such a good boy. What a good pit bull. Good boy. He won't look over there because he doesn't. All right, that's good. That's good. I know, you're a good boy. I'm going to go for a walk. All right, thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate it so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. That's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.